There was certainly plenty of bite from Maritzburg United in the opening half of this DStv Premiership tie. They lead by a goal to nil, but it has been a while since I have seen Maritzburg United so comprehensively dominate the side, and it's been a while since I've seen Kaizer Chiefs so comprehensively dominated by an opponent. Maritzburg United thoroughly deserving of their one-goal lead, and certainly could have been more, as Hlongwane has missed opportunity after opportunity for the home side. Kutumela with the captain's armband, it suited him well in the performances that Maritzburg United have had under him with the captain's armband. And we are going to see a triple substitution for Kaizer Chiefs at half-time, as Philani Zulu, Willard Katsande and Lazarus Kambole are the three players withdrawn. And coming on in their place is Siyabonga Ngezana, Jabulo Blom and Samir Nurkovic. So there is going to be a change in formation as well for this side. And we'll get Brian Marty's take on that when the second half gets underway. There is a very necessary reaction required from Kaizer Chiefs if they are to turn this match around. While Maritzburg United certainly didn't make full opportunity of the dominance that they had in the opening half, what they have found themselves doing is taking the lead. So half-time then in this DStv Premiership tie saw Maritzburg United leading by a goal to nil, but Brian Marty, three changes, and as a result a formation switch for this Chiefs side. But I mean, that I suppose was what they needed to do if they are to turn things around. They certainly couldn't stick with how they were playing in the opening half.
Well, first things first, they needed to try and defend well. Ngezana comes in on the right-hand side. They push Fosler up front. When you have Nukovic, you've got to supply the crosses. That's why you have Fosler playing on that right-hand side. And they had to make a choice between Bernard Parker and Willard Katsande, because they were all sitting on, both of them sitting on yellow, but he chose to replace Bernard Parker and have Blom in that midfield. And it's still risky to have Bernard Parker. He's wearing the captain's armband now, sitting on a yellow himself.
Yeah, that class is permanent. As Mashane brings the ball down this left side flank, and then is brought down by Maritzburg United just outside the 18-yard area. And this is the kind of area that Gavin Hunt would want his side playing in and around that 18-yard area.
Guess who's just come on as well as a sub, who is an option for them, Ariel Nurkovic. So it's in an area where when you have a Cardoso in there, Muromwandau, Matoho, and you have all the big boys, and Ngezana joins in as well. So there's enough aerial ammunition.
Yeah, Mato, who scored twice in the CAF Champions League but hasn't scored this season in the DStv Premiership. There's a deflection here in trying to clear. It's Yearly tucked in at the back post. Oh, how damaging that would have been for Hlongwane if this had gone into the back of the net.
Tricky ball played there onto the near post. Tricky for defenders to clear. And if you're not a defender, it's even worse to be Hlongwane.
Plenty of ability, and certainly toward the latter part of last season, Eric Tinkler showed some genuine faith in him. Ball in here, Chiefs again get their head on the end of this. Whip into that far side, and they've won another corner. But immediately the changes proved effective. Certainly the attitude is so very different from Kaizer Chiefs, and they've started on the front foot, and they are very much the offensive side in the opening 2.5 minutes. They have been going on all-out attack. A couple of corners as well. More ball, curling ball in, and that could be bundled over. Eventually it's worked clear by Hlongwane. And Dalen Klaassen opts to hoof that ball into Daniel Akpe's area. Meza won't mind so much going beyond Akpe, just trying to apply a little pressure on the Nigerian international, and now he needs to scramble back. If it had been taken quickly, there might have been a chance of catching Akpe well out of his area, but they opt to keep their composure.
Well, early stages of the game, they've been put under pressure, Maritzburg, so they're not going to try and rush as well. Try and drop the tempo a little bit as a part of managing or game management. So the next 15 minutes of the second half is going to be crucial in terms of how Maritzburg defend their lead, and also for Chiefs in terms of getting a goal.
Long ball taken by Ray. And the offside flag came up, I thought. It must have been after the header. You can't be offside from a throw-in. Maybe a push. It was the assistant referee who made the call rather than the referee.
So as we've mentioned as well, Leboha Manyama goes more on the number 10 role, with Nurkovic leading that front line, supported by Ngobo and Manyama.
We could see Chiefs really coming together here as Kutumela has managed to snatch away possession. Lovely ball in towards Hlongwane by Klaasen. Now can Hlongwane use it? And well kept at bay by Tawa Matoho. Turned 31 last week, did the man from Chombo village in Venda.
I guess certain things comes with experience and maybe building up a habit out of it.
All over the top here, but if Hlongwane chases, he is offside, and indeed the flag is up to suggest as much.
I was referring to Hlongwane because when he got that pass, sometimes you've got to take the shot first time. He made the run, got the pass, and decided to have a second touch, and he got caught offside here. It comes with experience and playing around players that will teach you some of these things.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's still only 20 years old. He's learning his trade. But, I mean, this is what's been so impressive with the Amazulu turnaround. You can see the critical information that's clearly been processed by the Amazulu players. They find themselves recognizing what Benny McCarthy is teaching them, particularly the attackers.
Well, the difference is that you're talking about youngsters. Those are very much experienced players. That is coming. Yes, a lot of them. So with Hlongwane, you look at who's playing around him. You know, you have a Kutumela that's trying to find himself now. He's and the captain's armband. But it also helps you when you have these experienced players to guide you. And I can see now Kutumela trying to talk to Hlongwane, which is good. I guess now he's more the experienced player in the team.
Indeed. There's the international experience under his belt as well. As a little header here from Parker finds Mashiane, who is won the foul. The assistant referee on the near side, Sandile Diligane, having called it again. He's picked up a couple of incidents here. That long ball up towards Manyama, who fails to bring it under control quite so spectacularly as he can do. Ngobo under pressure here from Klaasen. Mashiane back to Ngobo, the two linking up very nicely. Two younger players who've played for quite some time together. Meanwhile, we have a decision that both benches are starting to complain about. Throw-in has been gifted to Maritzburg United here.
That's where the mistake was. Perhaps he may have been aggressive starts out in terms of winning that ball, but the Chiefs player just pulled out. There was no contact at all.
That's the thing, is it was given as a throw-in, but it came clearly off Tlolane. And no foul, even though there might have been an element of that in the build-up. Mador's just hoofed this away. And down as far as Ismail, who's been sensational defensively for this Maritzburg United side. Another player who's still young, still learning, is Riaz Ismail. First genuine top-flight season for him.
Well, he's under good guidance, playing alongside Nazir Ali. There's also Clayton Daniels, players that can help him grow his game.
He had a good grounding at youth level. He was part of the Hellenic Academy and then for a while at Supersport United. And represented South Africa at under 17 level. Ball deflected out wide, throw in it'll be to Chiefs. The current Africa Cup of Nations under-17 tournament has been cancelled owing to COVID pandemic, as Engelhardt will pluck this out of the air. And Riaz Ismail represented South Africa at the under-17 Africa Cup of Nations back in, would have been 6 years ago now. It was in Niger, 2015 event. It's Klaassen, Ray, Kolane to get on the end of that. It's Mashiane who's done nicely to steer it away. Well protected from Nurkovic. It's very interesting to watch the bench of Kaizer Chiefs at the moment. Gavin Hunt is seated, but Dylan Shepherd and Arthur Zwane are feeding a lot of instructions to the Kaizer Chiefs players down this near side. Mashiane and Nurkovic, most notably. And certainly the gestures from Dylan Shepherd might suggest that he feels Nurkovic is not doing enough in getting into attacking positions going forward. And then when he lost the ball, he was nowhere to be found for a little while. Ball out on that far side again. It's Meza looking to keep it in play, but he's failed to do so. So with nearly 10 minutes down in the second half, ball out of play. It'll be Kaizer Chiefs throw in on that far side. So 10 minutes down in the second half, and we still have the score that reads Maritzburg United 1, Kaizer Chiefs 0.
Still continues to hustle on that left-hand side.
It's a good way to describe it, certainly, as Kutumela got on the end of a delightful loop ball from Kolane. There's Parker. Ball out of play. Throw into Maritzburg United, it'll be. And there's Bernard Parker. Turns 35 on Tuesday. He's had to shoulder plenty of criticism as Bernard Parker, but one of the most incredible professionals, a man who's represented both his clubs and his country with pride over the duration of his career, and he's done some special things. There's Klaassen looking to get away from the Chiefs midfield, beats Rossler, gets the pass into Meza, who's on that far side looking for the cutback here. Meza keeps the ball in play, down he goes, no penalty. There was no way that Tignani was in any way interested in that being a penalty. Turned around immediately. Now upfield there's an injury concern. Is that Manyama who's down on the far side? He hasn't been quite as impactful.
No, he wasn't. He had a very quiet. I think that ball was out. One.
No.
You reckon it wasn't out, do you?
No, that certainly wasn't out. The entire sphere of the ball needs to go over the, so it's kept in play.
Hey, look at Gezana just diving there.
There was contact from Gezana, but there was no way that contact brought Meza down, who took a little bit of a step and then decided to fall over so theatrically that he might have almost got the referee to overturn his decision had he initially thought it was a penalty. I've known referees who thought it was a foul in the area, and a foul in the area is a penalty. I've known referees to overturn those decisions based on how theatrically and dramatically the player has gone down. Cardozo linking up with Nurkovic. Here's Parker. Ray trying to block him, but he squeezes the ball away to Ngobo. Lovely ball into a danger area where Mator had found himself in an advanced position.
Much more involved from Ngobo. You have Muromandau as well. He's pretty high in confidence because he's getting the all-important goals for Chiefs.
Ball out on that far side. It's Maritzburg United look to threaten. And speaking of threatening, maybe there's an element of threat still to be posed if Judas Musiameri gets a run in the last half hour of this game or so. Considering his impressive goal-scoring record against Kaizer Chiefs. Meanwhile, Manyama takes some ball in here towards Nobo. Into a great area. Delivery is plucked out of the air by Engelhardt. Kaizer Chiefs certainly have performed far more accomplished football that's been laid out before us in the second half. Nearly 15 minutes down in the second half, and they are building towards something. It's whether or not they're able to convert. So Shandu down. Looks breathless at the moment, does Shandu.
His defensive quality is being tested here because of the intentions from Chiefs.
And this is a ball into Matoa, yeah.
I don't think he was ready for that pass.
No, I don't think so either. He can score. He can score some special goals as well, Matoa. We saw the passing game, how dominant it was from Maritzburg United in the opening half. Kaizer Chiefs now have completed more passes than Maritzburg in the game overall, which does suggest a dramatic upturn in the second half performance as we hit the hour mark. And Chiefs going on the attack. Manyama looking to tee up Ngobo, searching for a ball towards Nurkovic. Again, it's Ismail who's steered the ball away.
Well, I think it is to be expected that Chiefs will have more dominance in terms of possession and initiatives going forward. They are trailing. At the same time, you have a Maritzburg team that needs to defend their lead quite well and get their structure right from defense into midfield.
Well, this Maritzburg United side have not managed the game quite as well as they would have liked, as that ball is cleared out by the experience of Ali. Looked like he had it lined up a little more comfortably than it ultimately turned to be, as that ball was in towards the always aerially dangerous Nurkovic. And I see why it was a little more difficult for Ali to clear ultimately. He had it landed up. He had Nurkovic's arm behind his neck.
I can tell you what they're trying to do now is to make some changes. Maritzburg.
Chiefs with a threatening shot here, but Matoa has skied it.
He's had initiatives taken in the second half. Remember, they passed him the ball earlier on, trying to set him up, and this time it's his aerial dominance. But you've got to give credit as well to Morgan, who made it difficult for him because he was ready to attempt a shot. Muromanda Matoho.
Oh, Engelhardt. From the resulting corner kick, he's basically passed the ball to Dylan Shepherd. Inside the Chiefs' technical area, Ray can't control. Manyama looks to snatch possession away here for Chiefs, and there's been a little clash between Mashiane and Manyama.
Let's have a look at this. The fierce battle there.
Yeah, it is the two. I thought it was Manyama who clattered Mashiane.
Yeah, it's his teammate. Ryan Ray was strong enough because Mashiane missed him, but collided with his teammate.
Oh, Mashiane looking very uncomfortable here. So Kaizer Chiefs just having the team doctor and physiotherapist looking over him, Dr. Hashender Ramji. And Jose Cox, the physio, looking over Mashiane. Meanwhile, Maritzburg United in the first half, Brian Mate, they were by far the dominant side.
Better chances created. This is the goal that was scored. Making inroads on that right-hand side. Ali Meza setting up the captain himself. Clinical finish, and this was a chance created for Songwane. I mean, look at that miss. The goalkeeper to beat. Shots on target. They were so effective with shots on target, chances created. different second half now.
Completely. You suggested there might be a game of two halves, yeah?
It is. Patient here. Ali Meza being set up once more with Tolani so effective on that right-hand side. And now they've added numbers at the back. Maritzburg.
Yeah, so Kharingame Morise has made his way on off the bench with that injury concern. Chiefs have an injury concern now. Looks like Manyama, who's down again, as Maritzburg United look to go on the attack. Kaizer Chiefs looking to go on the attack once again. Giving one possession back, and Engelhard will steer the ball out of play on the near side.
Was it Manyama who was down?
Rising slowly to his feet.
Yeah, it is. That's him there.
Oh.
God, I think that's a bookable offense there from Nazir Ali.
From Nazir Ali, who's only just returned from suspension. So there is the man who's just made his way on, following the concern for Tolani. He's off the field of play, and Kharingame Morise, another of South Africa's very accomplished youth internationals. He makes his way on and hopes to impress Ansmidendorp. Long ball upfield that Cardozo gets on the end of. Mashane back inside. Ray snatches possession away from him. Now to the tricky Hlongwane. Free kick to Maritzburg United. 20 minutes down in the second half. And so far this side is looking to manage the game, as I can tell you out of screen. After this, Lebron Manyama has had a word or two to say to the referee. I suspect it has to do with the Nazir Ali coming across him, and he's picked up a yellow card, which does see him suspended for their next tie. So that is the kind of management you need to avoid, most notably because Kaizer Chiefs' next match is against Orlando Pirates.
And I think for the first time,
oh, Morise fired a ball in. It ricocheted off the leg of Mator, but wonderfully quick reactions from Daniel Akpe, because that suddenly ricocheted in on target. Very quick reflexes from the Nigerian international.
So Cardozo got booked. We get to see, what was it?
So Chiefs have 4 yellow cards racked up of the 5 that have been dished out tonight, with Cardozo picking up a caution just a moment ago, and Manyama 2. Morgan gets enough on the end of this to see it out. It'll be out for a Kaizer Chiefs throw-in. The New Zealander who made his way to Maritzburg United in July of 2019, having signed from New Zealand's Auckland City. Side that's a regular at the FIFA Club World Cup, where I think many in Africa would have been delighted to see Pitso Mosimane's Al Ahly claim the bronze medal at the most recent FIFA Club World Cup, as Akpe plays a little sweeper-keeper role and attempt to shove Blom off the ball. Has seen Klaassen concede the free kick here, so effectively 3/4 of this game has come and gone. Maritzburg United maintain their 1-goal advantage. I can tell you, Brian Mate, Judas Musiamedi has received the signal to run down to the pitch.
You mean he who has an insatiable appetite to score against Kaizer Chiefs?
And he looks thirsty and hungry. Absolutely ravenous for a goal.
Well, let's see, because I think they want to counter Chiefs. They've been attacked so much. So in having Judas Musiamedi coming on, that will stop the likes of Cardozo, Bromanda Umatoho. See, from going forward as frequent as they have been.
Ball just hoofed forward, catching practice for Akpe here. But what I found interesting is just looking down, Rowan Fernandez said something, Musiamedi smiled, and the two had a little fist bump. I wonder what that was about. Rowan Fernandez, one of the Chiefs' legends, goalkeeper who won several titles with the Amakosi. Now experiencing their longest ever trophy drought. And will need to try and turn things around. Long ball here, down the line. It's Tlongwane looking to get on the end of it. Manages to maintain possession and seeks a pass through to Kutumela that was so far ahead of him that he would have needed the pace of Usain Bolt to get on the end of that before Akpe could.
And if you look at Kutumela, I don't think he's that quick.
He's quick, but not that quick, certainly. As Klaassen comes back. Shandu gets enough on this to steer the ball, what looked to be heading out, before Parker intercepted it. Here's Blom. Skillful and ambitious player, and keeps up his fantastic record of playing in every one of Kaizer Chiefs' domestic matches. Whether starting or coming off the bench, he's been involved in every one of them. Klaassen steering it away. And the free kick has been called against Meza, but what's going to happen now is Musiamedi is making his way on, and Tlongwane has had his run. As we look back at the set piece, the 20-year-old finds himself off. The man who made his debut against Orlando Pirates in 2019, playing here against Kaizer Chiefs, leaves the field of play, and Judas Musiamedi, 2 Man of the Match awards this season, and one of them was against Kaizer Chiefs. The man who scored a fantastic brace against Stellenbosch and scored a brace in a win over Chiefs, as Nurkovic leaves this behind for Marciani, but that is a ball that is hit so far and long of where he was hoping to go. Brian Mate, you nearly fell out of your seat trying to follow that ball. It was hit so wide of where it was intended to go.
It's a worrying factor. You've got to try and hit the target. That's a crucial thing at this stage.
So this Kaizer Chiefs outfit has been hit by injuries, has been hit by the 2 transfer period ban, and included in that doesn't mean they can sign free agents at the moment either, because the entire registration period is blocked in a transfer ban, meaning that till the next transfer window and ahead of the 2021-2022 season, that'll be the only time they can register players. There's another attempt to find Nurkovic, is on well high.
It's been a tough one for them. They've got to make do with what they have. Injuries haven't helped as well.
No, they haven't. They certainly haven't. The medical suite has been very full at Kaizer Chiefs this campaign, and it's little moments as well, like Manyama's yellow card. You can understand his frustration, but a yellow card that means he's out of the derby against Orlando Pirates, and certainly one of the fixtures that Kaizer Chiefs have their eye on every year.
Well, one of the victories they've had, Chiefs, is because he won the ball and went on to score.
What a beautiful goal that was last season. Wow. Now Manyama looking to chase hard, being closed down by Ismail, who's been exceptional largely, but he's going to receive a caution here, is Riaz Ismail, and he's suggesting to the referee, I know I got that wrong, but this was my first infringement. He might be right.
And I think he's also playing in a role where he enjoys coming deep from the midfield. Remember, he just linked up with Nurkovic, good return ball to him. That's what he prefers, and he's excelled in that position even when he was playing under coach Eric Tinkler at Cape Town City.
Engeland will just parry this ball down.
We haven't seen those telling passes from Ngobo, and we know he can provide those passes, but he's been tightly marked and he's had to deal with Klassen in that midfield. A lot of times he's had to be helping out in defense as opposed to being more the creative player.
So I do enjoy when the youngsters start to show how they could link up. Mashiane is among those. I say youngsters referring to the more inexperienced players, though. I mean, Mashiane is certainly among them. Blom, Ngobo. Players that when they get it right, they look brilliant, and when they get it wrong, and that's something that's telling. Experience needs to be had. As Mirza looks to run onto the end of this, it's Cardozo who gets a delicate enough touch on that to steer it to Akpe, and goalkeeper happy to clear as Ngezana needs to hold on to the ball, feeds Parker. Three options here. Nurkovic has drifted wide left. He'll be closed down by two, and that ball was a little off target for Mashiane to run onto the end of. So 15 minutes remaining in this tie. Maritzburg United maintaining the lead they've held since the 15th minute.
It's that time now where I don't think the intensity from Chiefs in terms of attacking with that high tempo is going to work. They'll try and drop it a little bit, and this encourages Maritzburg to try and build up a rhythm.
Now on that far side, Ngobo in possession. We're back to Ngezana. Blom is making himself available, but it's Cardozo who Ngezana opts to pick out on this near side, and he's put under pressure by Ryan Ray. It'll be out for the Kaizer Chiefs throw-in that Mashiane wants to take quickly, but Ray is holding on to his shin as he crumbled. Pressure from Ray that saw it. Ooh,
I think it's that challenge from Mashiane. It's not Cardozo, because he had won the ball up against Cardozo.
It's great pressure on Cardozo to make him look up. Managed to get a false touch on the ball and took away possession, but only on the replay did I see that. The ball steered in between players. Chiefs with the throw, taken quickly by Mashiane in as far as Blom. So they do have a little time, 11 days before they face Orlando Pirates. Orlando Pirates, incidentally, playing in CAF Confederation Cup action tonight. They're in Ghana to take on their Algerian opponents. Not owing to the pandemic, seeing matches hosted in alternate countries or neutral countries. But Champions League action for Kaizer Chiefs as well before they play Orlando Pirates, and they are needing to go to Angola to take on Petro de Luanda in their next tie. And that'll be in less than a week. It's Cardozo. Classen away. Onside is Musiamedi looking to test here, potentially create space for himself to make it two, and he is denied by the frame. Judas Musiamedi, who I think everybody in the stadium thought would steer that ball home, somehow managed to beat two defenders, turn, create space for himself, and then fire a ball to beat the keeper. But disappointingly for Maritzburg United, Musiamedi hit the crossbar. Ball in here that may prove dangerous, but for Ali's intervention. Nazir Ali, great experience and anticipation, and credit to Chiefs for working the ball up as quickly as they did. But my word, how close was Musiamedi, firstly, stayed on side, received the pass, being closed down by two defenders, creates the space, gets the shot that beats the keeper, but just not the crossbar.
Not lucky enough. But it should be a concern for Chiefs, but you've come to expect this sort of situations because you look at the pass, you make the pass through the center, you lose possession, and they get it back onto Judas. He's sandwiched by two players, cuts onto the left-hand side, pulls the trigger, just denied by the crossbar. But they're living dangerously, and understandably so, Chiefs.
Well, Musiamedi through on the Kaizer Chiefs goal. And I dare say there's more than just a handful of Kaizer Chiefs fans that when he got onto the end of the ball would have been thinking, oh no, here we go again.
Not him again. This guy just said that he's got the Chiefs number out. He did well, coach. Just denied by that the crossbar.
Musiamedi, 4 goals this season, 2 of them against Kaizer Chiefs. More ball going around the outside here, looking to Tia Manyama. He might get a shot away. And Ryan Ray putting his body on the line as Frosler looked to thump one into a danger area, the kind of ball that could have ricocheted around.
I'm looking at that Maritzburg bench, the Chiefs bench. Zwan is up. Kevin Hunt is sitting down, but you have
Zwan. Chance here, thumped goal bound. Was that Nazir Ali who got the block in?
I think it's him or the goalkeeper.
They were standing alongside one another, but Manyama hit an absolute cracker.
He's playing much better in the second half because he's got ample space to maneuver, not an outright strike.
Ali.
Nazir Ali.
This is positioning.
That's what captains do. He's not wearing the captain's armband, but
that smile says he knew nothing about it.
I was just there.
Yeah, but come the end of it, he might explain that his decades of experience meant he was in the right place. Both of those players, Manyama and Ali, of course, were at Ajax Cape Town in years gone by.
The other one started, in fact, as a right back and went on to play centre back. Yeah, but Tachaya also having started as a right back.
Yeah. Delivery in here. It's away. Udise goes down. Maritzburg United players are protesting. Cardozo says, let me take the throw. Mashiane lobs the ball to him. Cardozo gets a long ball in that Nurkovic is who was underneath, but trying to create space for himself, conceded the foul.
There's a wholesale changes that Maritzburg are about to make to him.
I can see, and a very welcome return for one of them in Pumlane Njangase.
Defensive midfielder. There is Louis, who at some point profited from that. Not sure whether that was a pass from Morgan, but he's got that wonderful goal. Good touch to it.
It's Shandu getting underneath this one. Musiamedi recognises that he would have been in an offside position had he chased, but Kutumela is flagged for offside regardless. Akbay is trying to steer this ball as far downfield as he possibly can. Ismail got another touch on it. Gazana. There's Blom. Ball to the near side. Cardozo inside opposing territory. He's got options, and this time it's Shandu who blocks. So we are going to see the triple substitution here in the closing stages. We just hope that, as we've seen from a handful of clubs, that a rolling substitution, triple or quadruple substitution, sometimes to unsettle a side. They are trying to manage the game here. But a very warm welcome back to the game from Phumlane Ntshangase, who replaces the other man who has an incredibly long throw in this team, and coming on for Ryan Ray. It's the first time in over 3 months that he is seeing any action, having taken a while to come back from injury. The 26-year-old from Umlazi is back onto the pitch. It's great to see him back. Siso Hlubi is also on, particularly quick individual who will make his way on for Jose Alimeza. And we're going to see the introduction of Lungelo Pengu as he makes his way on here for Bandile Shandu, who's had his fill of action down that right flank. The gentleman. So his teammates.
Well, those are crucial positions when you look at Shandu, who played on the right-hand side and had a good game as well. And they also need to strengthen that midfield.
Now, Samir Nurkovic has come over to speak to Riaz Ismail, it seems, and check on the player. Kaizer Chiefs players are gathered around him. I certainly hope it wasn't a full boot on his face, but went in for the challenge.
Yeah.
Lewan Manyama is not a dirty player, but he's already received a yellow card which rules him out of the Orlando Pirates match. If he gets a yellow card for this, which he should, he will be red carded, and that'll mean he'll miss back-to-back matches, out suspended for Orlando Pirates and Stellenbosch, before only being eligible to return against Baroka in April. Now,
I don't think he's going to get booked, and the referee did not see that as being deliberate from Manyama. I tend to agree with him.
Well, managing the game is one thing, but that was certainly reckless. And without regard for the player. Crucially, in Manyama's favour was that he was focused entirely on playing the ball. But even on those occasions, if you have any disregard for the potential consequences of your play, you can still pick up a yellow card. Good news is that Riaz Ismail is fine. Now Ntshangase showing off that long throw. That'll be an interesting competition. You take the two longest throwers from your team, from every team in the top flight, and see who gets the longest distance. I bet you it would be Maritzburg United who come on top with Ntshangase and Ray with the two. As Chiefs make
Novo is coming off.
Change, yes. Novo makes his way off after a long slug. But an encouraging pat from Gavin Hunt. He recognises the effort that Novo was put in, certainly in the second half. As Akpe will not be tested here. He bounces kindly for him. Ball out wide from Parker in towards new men on. Bacchus. Glancing header here. Chance to put it in. And Kaizer Chiefs have found a goal. And what a celebration as Manyama gets on the end of one, steers it into the back of the net. A late chance against the Maritzburg side who have failed to manage matches previously. And they have been punished once again late on.
How many times have we been talking about this football being cruel? You create chances, you don't bury the opponent, they get one chance.
Oh,
is there a touch of offside? Yes, there is.
So both goals are offside in this tie.
Both goals are offside. It was Blom with the delivery. It was Bennett Parker with that header as well. But this was definitely offside. Just like the Maritzburg goal.
Either way, it counts as a goal. His third of the season, Lebon Manyama.
It hurts for Maritzburg, considering the chances that they created in the first half. If you are someone and you're watching, you're thinking, I should have buried the 2 chances that I've heard.
My word. The game of football, we love it for its unpredictability. And more than anything, I think if Maritzburg United were to learn a lesson here, what they're learning more frequently now is that modern football is more than simply playing on the pitch.
I also think that in defending their lead, they did not get hold of that ball. It was more the structure, trying to get the numbers behind.
Ball over the top here and cleared away by Bengu. As we're about to hit the 90-minute mark, trying to have a look at the 4th official's board. It looks like 4 minutes is about to be added on. As Bengu's just made his way on, has steered the ball away. As we hit the 90-minute mark, 4 minutes of time is added on. 1-1. 10th corner of the game. Chiefs have had 9. Crisp delivery here, but Engelhardt has come and timed it very nicely. So yet another match in which Maritzburg United failed to keep a clean sheet. They will be concerned. Regardless of the fact that both goals were offside, as Gezana looks to send the ball all the way back down to Durban.
I can tell you that the chief technical bench wasn't too impressed at all with Gezana attempting that long-range shot. They were not impressed at all, and the first person to stand up was Shepherd.
Dylan Shepherd is so passionate about the game of football. Gavin Hunt has suggested he is one of the future coaches to look out for. When you consider that when the Reserve League was cancelled last season owing to the pandemic, and his Wits side was well and truly on top.
Good player in his days, and accumulated experience just working with Gavin Hunt. Not surprised that his team, the MGC, was doing well.
Ismail again coming in and cutting out the play. Judas Musiameri battling hard to gain possession. It'll be a throw in to Cardozo, who managed to keep Musiameri at bay. It's Bacchus. Ernst Middendorp is actually entering the field of play. He and Gavin Hunt are both straying beyond their technical areas right now. Both fuming instructions to their players, but I'm almost concerned for Ernst Middendorf's health. His reaction was, well, he's not usually got that much blood around his neck and head. My word.
He is very, very, very frustrated.
Blob. Bacchus. Morgan and away. Kaizer Chiefs looking for a late impact, or perhaps a late winner, as Mator this time infringes. He's pushed up into an advanced position, is Mator, and he stayed there as well. Musiameri gets a little flick on here to Kutumela. Tricky with the ball at his feet, looks to lob the ball in towards Musiameri, runs onto it nicely. First time cross, potentially at the back post. What a timely intervention from Frosler. inside the final minute of added time. That looked to be a beautifully teed up build-up. All it needed was the finish. So, Brian Marte, Maritzburg throwing everything they have at Chiefs in the closing stages of this tie. With plenty of talking points to come. Ise looking for a shot potentially, but as Chiefs go on the rampage into an attacking position here. Let's see if we'll keep the ball away long enough from a goal area for you to give us a wrap of your thoughts. 90 minutes. Mushiane. Well, this was a match in which 3 points were critical for one of these teams, and that is the end of the tie. It is ended 1-1 in a match that has certain talking points that might court controversy, but Ernst Middendorp is, well, to say unsatisfied would be an understatement. Kutumela captaining this side, having sent the team in front 15 minutes in the closing stages. Lebon Manyama with a late goal that secures a point for Kaizer Chiefs away from home. But two offside calls, a couple of calls on fouls that might be debated long after this. But a match that was certainly entertaining, and Musiameri with a chance to wrap this game up, and a ball that rattled the crossbar. Brian Marte, quick thoughts on the 90?
Well, it's a loss to an extent for Maritzburg in a game where they dominated possession, created a lot of chances, better ones for that matter.
In a sense, a game of two halves. It is Maritzburg United who led at the break, but Chiefs who fight back for a point away from home.
A share of the spoils at the Harry Gwala Stadium. The only draw in the DStv Premiership today. Wins for AmaZulu, Golden Arrows, TS Galaxy and Stellenbosch FC. Those are results from around the country in the DStv Premiership this Wednesday, the 10th of March. But all eyes were fixed on the Harry Gwala Stadium. Taking a look at the DStv Premiership standings, then it means Kaizer Chiefs are in 11th and Maritzburg are still in 15th position. Black Leopards rock bottom of the DStv Premiership standings. Stellenbosch in 9th position after that victory. Mamelodi Sundowns still leading the way despite having played a host of games fewer than the likes of Golden Arrows, who are now into 2nd on the standings. Orlando Pirates in 3rd and SuperSport United in 4th position. It's been a day of goals in the DStv Premiership, but the goals we are most interested in, no doubt, at the Harry Gwala Stadium. Just overall thoughts from the two men still alongside me. Siyan Kosi, starting with you. What did you make of that game we just saw?
Well, I felt that Maritzburg started very well in the first half, and I thought the team there was well worthy of the lead that they got, and they could have gotten more. And I felt that they could have scored, especially the chance from Hlongwane, because he was just in front of goal. And when you miss such chances, and when you start a game like that, you want to make sure that those type of opportunities, you bury them. It did very well here in this instance, Kutumela, to bury it. But then you can see that there's gaps, there's openings, you are able to create opportunities. Because the pressing here was good, they win the ball, and then it's quickly played behind the Kaizer Chiefs defense by Uklasin, and then Ali Meza sets up Ukutumela.